Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Down goes Alexander Acosta. Down goes Alexander Acosta. Apparently, um, the Labor Secretary is stepping down over the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. So let me read a little bit from the Hill here. Now, Acosta announced his resignation on Friday, saying that if phoned President Trump to tell him that he was stepping aside because of the Epstein scandal. Okay. So now the reason, of course, a lot of people have been very, very angry at Alexander Acosta is because of the way that he got, or the plea deal that he got for Epstein. I mean, when you read the details of that plea deal, 6 out of 7 days, Epstein was not in prison. Not in prison. And of that, he only spent about 8 hours in prison. So the rest of the time he was on so-called work release. So it's not really even prison, it's more of a hotel room. And when he would come back, he would sleep in prison and then he would go to work as a hedge fund manager. That's the kind of deal that he got. That's a sweetheart deal that wouldn't be available to anybody else. If you did the things that Epstein was accused of doing, they'd lock you away for good and throw away the key, right? Rightly so. But but Epstein, because he's rich, and all these rich people stay together, Acosta, who worked on this deal when he was in Florida, right? So, he ended up working on this deal when he was prosecutor in Florida, and then you have, of course, Donald Trump, who later on picked him. Donald Trump, close to Epstein. Bill Clinton, also close to Epstein. You had so many people who were, very, very close to Epstein, who were very, very powerful. Is it any wonder that they stick together? Well, of course they do. Of course they do. But this got to be too much for the Trump administration, all the attention. In fact, he says that he didn't want the plea agreement to consume the administration. Oh, okay, yeah. So no, you guys, this is pressure from Donald Trump, of course, saying you got to get out of here. You got to get out of here because it's too much heat on our administration, right? Well, again, what Donald Trump doesn't understand is because he's got super close ties to Jeffrey Epstein as well. I documented that in another video where there was a cocaine-fueled sex party. I'm saying it's sex party. People who were there said that it's a sex party where they flew in 28 girls, some of them as young as 15. So these were children, some of them were. And there was sex, there were drugs, there wasn't alcohol. No, there was alcohol. There wasn't cigarettes. Because Donald Trump has some standards which he doesn't like smoking. That was a party where Epstein and Trump were together. So there are definite ties. And I'm guessing that this is probably damage control from the Trump administration to try to lessen the tension, or I should say lessen the pressure on the administration. So he boots Alexander Acosta out in the hopes that the media will focus on Acosta instead of Trump and the administration. I don't know. That's my guess, right? As far as Labor Secretary, who's going to replace him, I don't know. Probably somebody who's going to be equally terrible when it comes to labor law. But that's par for the course that you can expect from the Trump administration. But he is gone. Acosta is stepping down. Look, this Epstein thing has been blown wide open, right? It has been making a lot of very powerful people very nervous, and I enjoy that. I do. So I can't wait to see what else happens, who else ends up getting named, because Epstein, you don't think that he would rat people out in order to save himself? Not that I want to have any more, deals and plea deals or whatever with Epstein, but if this brings down a lot of rich and powerful people, who have engaged in these acts, in this child molestation ring. That, the weird thing is that for years the QAnon people have been screaming about this, right? The pedophile ring. Well, I mean, they're kind of right on that. But there's no Q. No, Donald Trump's not working with Q and Robert Mueller to try and take down the pedophile. That's ridiculous, right? But are they correct that there are people in power that use that power to abuse people? Well, look, that's like saying a clock is right, right? Yes, of course, rich people are going to abuse their power. That's what rich and powerful people usually end up doing anyway. So it's not like a giant revelation from the Q people, right? Which I think is ridiculous overall. But hey, if you want to stop child trafficking, that's wonderful. I also want to stop child trafficking, but maybe we should look at Donald Trump, who has clear ties with Epstein that we have seen. And look, again, I think he's getting rather nervous, which is probably why he got rid of Alexander Acosta. So that's my guess. I don't know for sure. I don't know if Donald Trump did anything untoward, but yeah, as I've said before, I wouldn't be surprised. Would you? All right. So don't forget to tune into the show today, 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern, right here, TYT Nation. Sign up, patron, all that stuff, to see more videos. Obviously, we do a show that's a little bit more put together if you're a first-time viewer, if you're just tuning into this, like, oh, Alexander Acosta, who's this weird guy with the green screen behind him. No, tune into the show. Trust me, you'll enjoy it. We'll have some great stories, and we'll see you at 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern right here at TYT Nation.